the main thing I'm doing today, I'm going to do a word today. I haven't done a word comparison in a minute. So I want to do some words. But then I want to talk about the struggle, if you want to call it that, or the process. Um, that video that I just sent you guys for us to use, where he was talking about the process and I loved it. I wish I could have showed it tonight, but there was one where the kid asked Jeff Bezos, what does he do in tough times and how does he deal when things look rough or things don't seem to be going the right way? Frustration, whatever you want to call it. And he pointed out something I thought was very powerful and very, very interesting. Here's what he said. I deal with my frustrations by either getting with people and getting myself together and working toward a solution. And once I get started working on a solution, the frustrations begin to fade. See, people become frustrated or they become depressed or become downtrodden in any situation. When it hits, it usually hits like a wrecking ball at the moment. And the whole world seems disarrayed. And so now you panic, I went this far, I put this much energy into it. Now this person lied on me, this person stole from me, this person did that. And once you begin to focus on the thing that brought you down, then here's what's gonna happen. Let me see, test my time messages. Here's what's gonna happen. You're focused in the direction of the fail or the fall, and you're going to continue to decline as long as you focus on that. But once you start saying, okay, let me start picking up the pieces and let me start trying to build this and fix this and make this right. And once you start doing that, you don't have time to really focus on how bad or negative you feel because you're already in the process of building again. And the building process releases endorphins, it releases energy in you. So let me give you an example. This is a silly example, but it's a good example. Let's say you building something with some building blocks as a child, and you trying to put your little thing together, and somebody comes and they knocks over what you're working on. You sit there on the floor and you cry and you cry and you tell mommy and all of this and you whine and you know, okay. If you notice with little kids, the moment they stop crying, they start building it again, all of that negative, aggressive, passive, whatever energy is gone because you're back in the process of building. So the point I'm trying to make is while you're building, while you're going towards your goal, you can't do both. You can't feed into depression and feeling sorry for yourself when you're in the process of building. So it's kind of hard to do that, you know, to say, well, I'm gonna keep going forward, but I'm gonna go forward depressed. You're either gonna drop or you're going to get back in the game. So my point is this: go forward, get back in the game, spend a little bit of time licking your wounds, but very little if that's what you want to do. But once you get back to work on solving the problem or finding the solution, all of that negative energy has to go away because it can't function in the area of progress because light and dark cannot dwell in the same place. So once you start working again toward the light, dark is behind you. And that's a powerful revelation. As simple as it may sound, it's a life-changing, life-saving reality. Once you put yourself in the direction of going towards your goal again, all of the negativity and all the past stuff, I speak to people all the time and say, this happened to me, this went wrong, this went bad. And then they say, you know what, I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm just gonna focus on the positive and I'm gonna go forward. So I don't want to keep beating it into the ground. But the key to overcoming a hardship is to begin to work on a solution. The moment you begin to work on a solution, the whole environment changes and your energy changes and what you bring toward you begins to change. Okay? That's a good place for you. You ready? Let's grow. But right there, that's something I need you to focus on. What are we getting in the comments?
So Devon said, agreed. Ruth said, I'm building momentum in myself and I will not give up no more on myself or any more on myself. I added a little.
Okay. Give me some thoughts on what I just shared from.
Devon said, you cannot cry over spilled milk.
You can, but it won't put the milk back in the cup. So you have to go forward. You can, but it won't give you no fresh milk. So here's where we're going. But once you start re-pouring milk into the cup, and this is where my point is, Devon, once you start once you can cry over it, but once you make a decision to start to put more milk in the cup, you already accepted that milk is gone and it's not coming back, and so you're gonna pour a fresh glass and start over from there. And again, as simple as that sounds, right? It's solution. You're working towards solution. You can't focus on problem. You're working toward going forward. You can't lay down in, excuse my expression, in your own feces or take a shower at the same time. It's one of the two. So, and I use that even though it sounds disgusting, but that's really what it becomes when you begin to lay down in your woes and miseries and not go forward. It's very huge. Okay? Any comments I need to see, or I'm going forward?
Talima said, always had a backup again mentality. I always had a backup again mentality.
I like that. It's powerful. So I'm going to talk about 2 words real quick. I'm not going to spend the whole day on them, but I'm going to just jump on them quick and get them out there. And the words today are achievement versus success. And let's just go in them real quick. Achievement, the measurable milestone of accomplishment along the way. Achievements are the tangible results of your hard work, persistence, and strategy. And watch this, while achievement contributes to success, they do not define it entirely. So achievement are milestones or things you accomplish on your way to success. So achievements are every little flower, everything that you acquire or build or every level or milestone you reach on the way to success. But here's what's very important about that, because a lot of times we don't get to our success because we don't take the time to breathe in the achievements. There are so many steps on the way. Example, we started this hair oil business and we said, okay, we're gonna get out here, we're gonna sell some oil, we're gonna do this thing. Days it goes great, days, well, we haven't had any bad days, except, the mall that we were going to, the mall cops came and surrounded me the other day and told me, you can't do that, get out. So they finally caught up to us and they threw us out. And I think they threw us out because I was actually down walking around selling oil. I think Nelly was small enough to kind of slip through the crowd, but I'm this big Negro walking around, ninja walking around selling oil and stuff. And I think I stood out and they caught me. Either way, they threw us out the mall and said, you can't do that. So now we got to go find a new mall. And of course, then we're going to go to the beaches and stuff like that. But, I don't want to get caught up in selling in the malls. This is just for us to generate and get an idea of what people want, what they're looking for. People say they want bigger bottles. There's different kind of, things they're talking about that we're saying this is giving us legs. But we already know that our main push is going to be, social media or internet. But that push, that knock around, that challenge, that everything didn't go today the way we thought it should, that's all in the wake of us going toward the goal. So if we don't stop and enjoy those moments, the days that we sold 20 bottles versus the days that we only sold 5. I think you went out on the street the other day and you only sold 1 because you was in a community of people that was not trying to hear what you had to say. It makes a difference to just pick yourself back up and keep on moving. It makes a difference. And so, I'll talk about that a little bit more, but let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about what success is. And success kind of hit me a little bit different than what I thought it would. It says, a person, an evolving state of fulfillment, a personal and evolving state, I'm getting tongue twisted tonight. Personal and evolving state of fulfillment. And before I read the rest of it, that caught me because I thought they would say success is you reach the pinnacle and then you're there. But it says no, it's personal, so it's individual, and it's evolving. So that makes perfect sense, right? Once you reach your goal, then you have, if you have that kind of drive, you have another goal in front of you and you reaching for that. So growth in alignment with one's purpose. So a personal and evolving state of fulfillment, growth in alignment with one's purpose. So whatever your purpose is, every success has a level. Success is subjective, and it can vary based on personal values, goals, and lifestyle choices. It is about long-term fulfillment, impact, and the ability to live life on your terms. So both of them show, was really surprising to me, but both of them show a level of growth that's continual, blossoming, manifesting, and the key is as you grow and as you mature and as you reach different levels in your life, what you deem successful changes as you go forward. What I get there, I just got a big pop-up. What does it say?
I'm making an achievement thermometer. Every time I reach an achievement, I will color the thermometer until it's filled up, then start another one. That's Talima.
I like that. That's good. I'm loving this energy.
Edward says, I like the living life on my own terms.
Now, some religious church folk will get offended, say, oh, no, you're living on the Lord's terms. Okay, well, I live it on my terms with God, not with you. That's what you're trying to say to people. You don't define my terms. Me and God define them, and you ain't, it's none of anybody else's business. And that is big, on your terms. We're not trained that way through the education system. We're not trained that way in life to live on our own terms. We're trained to follow, march, and step in order, and march in single file. And everything we do, with the alarm going off and the clock going off, is designed to make us under somebody else's control. And when you're bold enough to say, I want to do my way, my thing, the way I feel it and the way I see it, you're caught all kind of things because you're bucking the system. So when you see success as being able to live it on your life on your terms, that people will frown at that, but I 100% agree with that. That's very important. Anybody have any questions or comments before I go forward? Because this is...
Yes, so Edward just said, yes, sir, with God.
So, what are some of the characteristics of achievement then? What are some of the things that we can kind of lock down? And the reason I'm talking about this is because, as I said earlier, the key to enjoying your success is enjoying the goals that you reach on the way, along the way, taking the time, as people say, stop and smell the roses. This is important. So a specific measurement of goals reached, milestones that mark your progress, external validation through awards, recognition, and wealth. These are characteristics of achievement. So yes, winning awards, having other people or other things recognize the level of success that you've achieved, all of this stuff. There's a lot of noise in the hallway. I've never heard this much noise in the hallway. People bringing their little rugrats and stuff up and down, but hey, they live here too, so I can't tell them what to do. But being recognized, winning awards, having, the opportunity to say, these are the milestones that I reached on the way to my goal. Yeah, they play a part. Don't get too caught up in the awards, because I don't like people being able to make me feel like I failed because I didn't get an award. And that's another, mind game that people will play on you. You set your own awards. What award do you give yourself for the goal that you achieve? And it's very important. This goes back to what Everett spoke on or pointed out, playing on you, according to your own terms. Like, set awards for yourself. Give yourself accolades for things you accomplish. It's big because there's times in the beginning that nobody recognizes you and nobody says anything. And it's one of the things I learned, watching the industry. Like when you see these, especially actors and entertainers and musicians, and you see them walking the red carpet with these designer dresses and all that stuff, they don't pay for that. they give them that. So when you need somebody to give you these designer clothes and instruments and whatever, they don't give them to you. They give it to you when it's beneficial to them to give it to you because you wearing it. They want their dress seen on the runway. Here's the point. People usually don't give you awards unless it benefits them to give you awards. People would invite me to events and I walk in the room and I see this, I'm one of very few people of my color that's there. And then all of a sudden, whenever the camera people are around, they want to get over there and pose and smile with me in the picture. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go, right? So what I'm saying to you is this. You have to award yourself. You have to say, I accomplished here, and not only am I excited about it, but I'm going to take myself out if I need to, call some people and go out, but I'm going to take time to acknowledge for me and let myself feel the excitement of it. You might say, well, what good is it if you give yourself an award? It's big because the moment, the thrill, the excitement of that achievement is still real. It's still yours, and it's still a moment you get to savor. So please listen to what I'm saying to you. It does something to your mind when you know, even if it's coming from you, that once I reach this thing, I'm going to celebrate this way, and I'm going to enjoy it this way. And you can do that for yourself. It's important. And it still gives you the same excitement and the same adrenaline rush that it does if somebody else does it for you. It really does. So I really try to make sure I stop and take time. And I tell Nelly, let's go out. Yeah, but we didn't make money. But you accomplished something. And so let's go do something that lets us feel like we're celebrating our victories. Let's reward and award ourselves. Do I have any comments on that? Because that's important.
Yes. Edward says, I have to award myself. Love this. Ruth also said, love that. I have to award myself.
You do. You do. And take somebody with you that's going to celebrate with you and help you, savor that moment. It just builds an expectation in you that you know that, wow, I got another one coming, even if I got to give it to myself. But it sets your spirit and your mind in that direction of achievement and the rewards that come with that achievement. It's big. Don't let anybody take that from you.
Devon said facts.
Okay, that's simple enough. Continuing the characteristics of achievement is the evidence of your hard work and discipline, often short-term and task-oriented. Watch this. Can be celebrated, but should be seen as steps toward greater success. I won't go into it. I just said all of this. I covered most of this already in my talk. So all of these things need to be celebrated, but they're steps to go forward. A sense of fulfillment and purpose, long-term vision and goals and alignment. And watch this. The balance between the personal and professional life. Now, I made this point already, but I'm going back to it again. I don't think anybody should throw themselves so into their work, and that could be even like you doing a fitness routine and you trying to work out. Well, I'm working out so hard now that I don't even enjoy life. I don't eat anything I enjoy. I don't get to do anything, and that turns it into drudgery. And it turns it into labor, and there's no longer excitement in it, and you won't stay motivated to keep going. So it's not a good idea to throw yourself so into something that you torture yourself pretty much. You torture yourself, you punish yourself, you deny yourself everything. Even good trainers will say to you, okay, well, you did good for the couple of weeks, go get yourself a burger and fries. Like a good trainer will tell you that because they know you have to know that you're working towards something. This is not your everyday food, but every now and then, go ahead and have some ice cream. And that's key to your success. Is that window open over there? Yeah. I hope you don't hear all that noise that I'm hearing, but boy, I'm hearing it. So, let's talk about a millionaire mindset that I want to kind of submit to you and lay out in terms of thought and process, right? For me, I have to change my numbers. I have to up my numbers. And I have to up my numbers hard, and I have. But I can tell you honestly, if I be honest through this process, I find my mind wanting to settle back on what I've already accomplished and saying you're good. You don't need to keep doing all of this. There's a part of going to the unknown or risking or taking a chance at things that are different for you that really makes the inner you want to retreat. You might be totally gung-ho on the outside, but if I'm telling you the truth because I know you have experienced it, the voice inside says, I don't know. So let me talk a little bit about myself. Let me just put some honesty out there. So fighting for my goals, reaching for my dreams, I'm being confronted with things I don't know or understand, had some shortcomings happening, and then I'm trying to navigate around it, and I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting very angry. And it's times that like I'm around Nelly and she'll do something, I'll snap. And I'll snap because it seems to or feels to threaten the direction that I'm going. And I kind of spiral a little bit because I feel like anything right now that seems to go against me winning is a total enemy. And it's not. So here's what happened. So I let Nelly drive the car, and she pulled up too close to the curb. And the car's a low car, my BMW 7, and she backed up and it almost pulled my whole front bumper off. Now, I was so livid because my feeling was, okay, it's like every time I try to get up, things are happening that's pushing me back down. And I'm really feeling like frustrated. I'm like, okay, we went out, we sold these bottles, and we're moving forward, and the money's gonna cost me to fix this bumper. What we made is not even gonna cover that. So now I am like really not mad at her, but just mad at life, just mad at the circumstance, just mad at the challenge, just mad at, if you're a believer, you want to say, God, what the heck, why? You want to rebuke the enemy, you want to go through all this kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, right now you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling defeated in the sense of not that everything you're doing is defeated, but there's something coming against your progress. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. You can put a thumbs up in the comments if you understand what I'm talking about. So you feel like people say one step forward, two steps back. I didn't feel it was two steps back, but I felt like it was just like it was the limit in going forward. It was breaking my stride, and it makes you frustrated, and it makes you want to throw something against the wall, and makes you want to say F it, and it makes you want to quit, and it makes you want to say, okay, maybe this is just not for me. Maybe it's just not my time. Well, through the process of one thing after another happening, things happening with the building in New York, it's just one thing after another. I was like, okay, that's it. I just want to walk away from this. And that was okay, but the other thing came with it is I wanted to feel angry, and I wanted to feel sorry for myself, and I didn't want to move. And the thing that I got in my heart and my spirit immediately is play in pain. What? Play in pain. And I remember those words for a reason. I remember back in the day when Michael Jordan was the dude, right? Now, for those of you who know me, know I'm not really into sports like that. I don't watch a lot of sports. I'm not really that dude. But I knew about him. I heard about him. I saw commercials that want to be like Mike. All of this stuff he was everywhere. Again, not really into sports. But one day I was in the house and a game was on. And I decided, let me watch this game to see what this guy, Michael Jordan, is all about and why everybody talks so much about him. And I put the game on, and this particular day, Michael Jordan's arm was wrapped up. And the announcers are talking that he fractured his wrist doing a layup. His hand hit the rim, and he fractured his wrist. So he had his wrist wrapped up, and he was sitting on the side with his hand in a bucket of ice, literally sitting there with a hand in a bucket of ice. And then he'll call him out. He wrap his hand up, and he go up there, and he run, he jump, and he's putting shots in, but he's being very careful not to bang his hand against the rim. And the announcers are saying, yeah, you see how he cringed, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is at the end of the game, he still scored 32 points or 34 points, and it was 32 points, and more than anybody else in the game. And I said, wow. And then he goes sit down a little while, and he put his hands back in the ice bucket. And I said, this is a mentality. This is the person who decides that regardless of what has come against me or what setback I've faced or is facing me down, that I'm still going to not just play, but still going to try to score higher than everybody else playing on the court that night. So now we have a thought process on me that I'm going, I know I don't have that. At the time, I'm like, I don't have that. I don't have that fight. I would go say, listen, my hand is hurting and I'm in pain and I'm just not playing. But he played in pain. So I began to watch other people, and I started paying attention to people who kept going despite of all things coming against them. So another person, 50 Cent, made all his money, made it to the top, wound up losing everything, wound up broke and poor, and then he brings himself right back up again. And I shouldn't say broke and poor, because he wasn't poor at all, because he had wealth inside of his spirit, inside of his mind. This is the brother who had that from the street. He took it into the music business as a rapper, and now he's going into a whole different career, and he's doing it again. And I'm like, so there's something about people like this that they don't stop, no matter what comes against them. We can laugh about Vanilla Ice. He came out there, and then all of a sudden they tore him to shreds, and his career was over as a rapper. But then he went and he did these sports things. A lot of people don't know about that, but he had that album called To The Extreme, and he came out with extreme sports gear. So he had those BMX bikes and skateboards and all this. And a lot of people didn't know that when that was big for a while, extreme, that was his, right? And then he went from that, and now he does $1 million houses and he does renovations. And my point is, he was so upset that people didn't like him as Ice Ice Baby that he couldn't even enjoy the success of the other things for a while because he was still grieving that loss. So even with success still following him, he was living in misery because he couldn't let go of the fact that you failed over here. Don't do that to yourself, right? Enjoy those successes while you have them. And when they over, move on, let them go, treat them like waves, stay on your surfboard, wait for the next wave to come. Because it will come if you have that spirit and that mentality and that personality that I'm going to win regardless of what's facing me right now. I'm going to push through and I'm going to come out the other side. There's no other way to do this. I wish I knew a lot of what I know now, and a lot younger, or old folks say that. But my point is, I do, because nobody said to me, so get up and keep going anyway. So keep pushing anyway. So don't let go anyway. Just keep going. Just keep pushing through the storm until you come out the other side. And all successful people say the same thing. I just didn't give up. I just didn't quit. I just didn't let go. Well, some of us have given up and quit too many times on too many things. But winning mindsets and mentality is only achieved by going through where other people would easily walk away. Because eventually, all of those that are in the class with you, Teachers know when they start a class that there's a percentage that's going to succeed and a percentage is going to fail, and they're already looking and gearing toward those who are going to win. Especially when you go for special forces and stuff like that, they know the class is going to start with 500 people, and when it's over, it might be 5. They already know that. It's the whole Gideon's Army syndrome. People will stay if they choose to stay. And you guys heard me say this a million times. I had to say this to somebody recently. They were telling me all the reasons things wasn't working for them. It was yesterday. All these why it's not working, and things are not going well, and on and on and on. And I have to stop people like, okay, why isn't it changing? Well, because this, because of this, because I said, those who decide to win give you all the reasons they can. Those who decide to quit or lose give you all the reasons they can. Which one are you? So I'm sure we got a lot of comments here. I'm just talking away, but you know, I got to do something with this time, and I want to make sure you get off of here with something you can use. What we got, Nelly?
Okay, so Devon said that physical resilience is phenomenal. And Edward said, look for the next wave. I'm going to win anyway. Keep pushing anyway. And Dominique Campbell says, go with the flow, not against it.
I like that. I like that. Hold up, don't go any further. Dominique, yes, but sometimes no. Because if you go with the flow, you're following everybody else. It's those that go against the grain and against the wave that usually gets big success. So I don't agree, but I agree. Don't try to mess up the flow of what's around you. But in some cases, you got to go the road that nobody else is willing to travel, and you got to be willing to go the way that everybody else tells you not to go. Because the fact that they telling you not to go there means the success is there. Let me give you an example. I've used this analogy, and I had something to compare it to in life. I've asked people, if there's a line and they're giving out $100 bills, and you can stand and get on the line as many times as you want, and then across the street there's a line that's giving out $5 bills, and you can get on the line as many times as you want, which line would you get on? Now, those of you who know and heard the story before, don't cheat, but I like to see in the comments which line you're getting on. The $100, you can get on as many times as you want, or the $5 line. Which one you getting on? I'm gonna give you a minute to get that question and answer it. And you can tell me why. Again, not cheaters who've already heard me teach this. Any comments?
Well, Aaron has a question.
Who?
Aaron.
Go ahead.
Okay, Aaron's question is, what to do when your brain is exhausted but need to keep pushing?
We're going to answer that question in a minute. I'm going to see which line we're getting on. We're going to come back to that.
Aaron said, can you repeat the question?
Sure. You have two lines across the street from each other. One line, they're giving out $100 bills. You can get on that line as many times as you want. The other line across the street, only giving out $5 bills. You can still get on that one as many times as you want. Which line are you getting on?
Talima said the $5 line.
Well, you're my daughter, so you know the answer already. But okay, I want to hear other people.
Dominique said the $5 line.
Okay, go ahead. Who else?
Devon said, get a reward from it, breathe, shake off the tiredness, and get back to it.
Okay, I don't know if he's answering that.
Yeah,
I think he's talking about something
sorry.
else.
Yeah, Aaron said the shorter one, the $5 line.
Okay. He said the shorter one. That means he's thinking. Go ahead.
Ruth said the $5 line. And Talima said, I never heard you say this.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, your answer's correct. Everybody's going to be on the $100 line. Everybody. And I had an experience, it wasn't that, but they were giving away I don't remember what it was at the time, but they were giving away something, and there was one line where you could get a whole pack. I think it was them free cookies. Another line they had single cookies, and everybody was on the line for the pack. And I got on the single line, and I just kept going around and going around with maybe 2 or 3 people in front of me. And finally, they just said, "Here, just take the whole box, because nobody's on this line." And they just gave me like a whole case of them because nobody else was on that line. So right, the shorter line, because you can go around as many times as you want. So if you follow the flow, everybody's gonna be flowing toward that $100 line because they think that makes the most sense. Well, yeah, if you just want to get one thing and leave, fine, but you can get on as many times as you want. So most of the time, where everybody is, that's usually not where the real wealth is. That's where the real attention is. But the real wealth is usually hidden from where the attention is. And I'm very mindful to watch distraction, even though I'm being very mindful to stay with the flow, but I'm still saying, I'm gonna follow it, but I'm looking to the left and the right to see if I can see something that nobody else is seeing. And that has been very helpful for me. What else you got here? And I'm gonna answer Aaron's question.
That's it. I had a question from Angie, but that was earlier about awarding yourself is important. She said, awarding yourself is important. It was instilled in me from my parents at a young age. My daddy would celebrate any and all of my achievements.
Dope.
That's dope. Angie. And then we just have Aaron's question.
But what? Just give me what was after what I just said, and then we're gonna go back to Aaron's question.
Okay. Talima said, "Oh, because it was shorter," and then Edward just said, "Oh my goodness, that was good." That's it.
Okay, so go to Aaron's question now. Let's answer Aaron's question. And anybody else has questions, throw them in there.
So Aaron said, "What do you do when your brain is exhausted, but you need to keep pushing?" Okay,
so, and we kind of covered it a little bit, but I'm gonna be more detailed for you, my brother. Your brain being exhausted sometimes is a sign that you're beating down the wrong path. Sometimes. If you're committed to something, listen to what I'm about to say, out of a love and a desire and the knowing that this is what you're supposed to do, you don't get exhausted like that. You feel tired and fatigued. Brain exhaust, I found, comes from me still trying to figure out what it is I'm doing and what my purpose and destiny is. Usually for me, I find myself like I'm mentally exhausted when I'm just grabbing at every straw I can grab at. But when it's something that you love to do, and I've heard a lot of successful people say this, I've come to see it in certain parts of my life, if you do what you love to do, I always tell people, find the thing that you would do even for free. And then focus your success on that. When I met Nellie did hair. Like, it would have been easy to say, no, Nellie, she tries to do real estate and stuff because I'm doing it. But I'm like, but do you love it? Does it in your heart, is it a desire of yours to do it? Or you just trying to do it because you see that's what I'm doing and you want to do it? And the reality is, she loves hair so much and she loves taking care of hair. I was like, then let's create a product that stays in the lane of what you love. It's a pivot, but it's still something that you would do for absolutely free. And so if your brain is getting fogged out, ask yourself, are you doing too many things? Ask yourself, have you trailed down the road into something that you really don't love to do? You're doing it more out of desperation than out of a real commitment to it? And if that answer is yes, then you solved your problem. You figured out. Sometimes, listen, just because you can do something don't mean you should do something. And I tell people this all the time. Just because you can do it don't mean you have to and don't mean you should. Always keep yourself in your lane. Last thing I'm going to say to this little brother, this is a saying that I coined a long time ago. If you build 10 houses at one time, in 4 or 5 years, you have 10 half-built houses and no place to live. Build yourself a home that you can rest in and then go work on the other 9. And this is a mindset that some people don't agree with, and that's fine for them. But that's why people say to me, how do you not have any Rikus in your mid-60s? Because I don't work myself into my mind and my body and everything shuts down. It's just not a quality of life. I hope I answered your question, but it's a good question. I hope I answered you. What else we got?
Okay, Edward said, I would love for you to speak more on where the attention is versus what others can't see.
Ask that question again a little clearer for me. You're welcome, Aaron. Ask that question again, Edward. Is she asking it again? And is there anything else up there that you need to cover while we're waiting?
Not yet. Joshua said,
hey, Josh.
Let's go, Uncle.
Hey, that's my nephew. What's going on, baby boy? Welcome on. Good to see you. Read Edward's question again. Maybe I'll understand it this time.
Okay, Edward said, I would love for you to speak more on where the attention is versus what others can't see.
Yeah, I'm still not understanding our question. You trying to be too philosophical or something. I don't understand what you mean. Ask that question again. While you're doing that, I'm going to jump onto some of my points that I have here. With the time I have left, I want to be mindful of that, of the millionaire mindset. Okay, she did answer.
Okay, you mentioned that when people are usually looking at where the attention is and don't really see what's behind it.
Okay, I understand your question. I think I understand. I'll answer it the best I can on what I think you're saying. She said something else.
Yeah, that reference was when you were talking about the two different lines, $5 and $100 line.
If you think about attention or the things that vie for your attention, those things are usually things put in place to keep you in place, right? So there are a lot of things. Okay, so let me give you an example. I remember when the news, every time I turned around, was talking about cops pew-pewing, people of color. And I was really just getting really emotionally upset and drained and frustrated and angry and feeling all this rage in myself. And then I stopped one day and I said, wait a minute. This happens every day. Why is the news focused on it right now? What is it that they're trying to make me not see? What is it that's going on that they want me to look this way when they're doing something over here? I said the same thing with the pandemic and everything else. What the heck is going on under the table? What's being set up and put in place that I am not going to pay attention to because this thing is grabbing on my attention? I'm very careful about things that try to draw me away or pull my attention away from what I'm doing or what I should be focused on. How do you do that? Simple. How much of your energy is this thought or this thing taking? Because if it's not adding to or building to the road that you're going to be successful, then it's a time suck is what they call it. It takes away your energy. I remember seeing a couple of people they get into this Illuminati thing. They go on the, oh yeah, and Jay-Z, and then this one and that one, and this one and that one, and this one, and all of a sudden they're watching 1,000,001 Illuminati videos. And I'm like, and how is this helping you achieve anything in your life? How? Not at all? Then you need to take your focus off of it. You need to put your focus on that which is fruitful for you. So even going back to the $5 line versus the $100 line. Okay, the $100 line looks good, but there's more fruit on the short line. So you're going to be caught up in that thing to the point that it sucks or takes you away from your ultimate goal. And one thing I like to say again and again and again, I didn't make this up, it's a fact of life, everybody says it. You can get money again, you can get possessions again, you can get a lot of things again, but you cannot get time back. time gone is gone. So I'm learning, especially as you get older folk will tell you, don't let any one thing draw you so far away that you miss what it is you're doing. My bills a month come to probably close to 20 grand. And for a moment, I was just really stressing out about what's coming in versus what's going out versus what's coming. And it's like, you're stressing it and you're frustrated about it, but what are you doing about it? What are you putting in place to make up for that lack? Wow. What are things I could do? So I started looking into some different things. There's a couple of things I'm about to launch I'm not talking about right now. Aaron, who's on here, is talking with me on some of it. But the key is, I can stay there stressing out about what's not coming in, or I can put my focus and my energy on what I can do to compensate or to make something come in. You can't do them both together. So focus on what's draining and what's feeding. That's the key. Focus on what's draining and what's feeding, and guess what? Put some attention to what's feeding, because that's where your victory is going to come from. You ready? Let's grow. No, but you're caught me, right? You're with me. Aaron said, control our emotions. Yeah. And Aaron, a good way to control your emotions, a lot of times, is to just ignore them. Because, watch what I'm about to say. This is slick. It's real simple, but it's slick. Because when I'm trying to control my emotions, they're still controlling me because they're taking more attention than they should be getting. So while I'm sitting there trying to control my emotions, they're still running the show. So middle finger to the emotions. Yeah, at a certain point, you got to say to the emotions, you know, F you in the boat you came in on. I got to get back to work. I got to get back focused on what it is I'm here to do. I got to get back to my game plan. That's the thing. I have a goal and I have a set to accomplish a certain thing. And what do I need to do? Yes, emotions, they're going to show up. Trust me. Give them a little time and then say, okay, we're done. I got to get back to work. I got things to do. I have a goal to accomplish. And accomplishment will snuff out emotion, which was the first thing I said when we started this thing, what Bezos says. I started working on the solution, and all of a sudden, I'm not focused on the problem, or I'm not feeling the pain or the disappointment of the problem because I'm focused on solution. You can't focus on problem and solution at the same time. It's not possible. Give me some hearts and likes and stars and kissy faces and whatever. Throw some stuff in there. It's good for the algorithm. And again, make sure you invite people. This is powerful. The stuff you're getting, I'm giving you people, you have to go to seminars and pay people a lot of money. I'm giving it to you. First-hand information and stuff I've learned and stuff I'm still figuring out as I go. Come on, let's get it in here. So, accomplishment will snuff out emotion. Yes, indeed. Live unique. Nelly, baby, sweetie. Yes. Yes, because accomplishment always, listen, you can't feel good and feel bad at the same time. You can't feel sorry for yourself and then working on yourself at the same time. One, you have to give to one or the other. They can't ride together. So if there's no more questions right this minute, keep them things coming, keep them little things coming. And I'm gonna drop a couple of millionaire mindset statements on you for the sake of time here. Be mindful of this time. Oh yeah, we're right there. So let's just take another few minutes. Achievement, earning the first $1 million, securing a high-profile investment deal is a mindset of a person that's a millionaire. You can say, well, how do you do that? Well, we could talk about that when you have something that you can say to me, this is what we're doing, and I'm gonna start bringing people on and just having a dialogue back and forth with them and letting them talk about it as you guys begin to build. So there's people like you guys that I know them building stuff, Aaron, I'd like to get you on one day and just kind of go back and forth and bounce the ball back and forth with you. You're very ambitious, driven person, and he's a person I'm definitely going to be doing business with. So earning the first $1 million is a mindset, though. You have to have a mindset that says, this is my goal and this is what I want to do. Now, if that's not where you are, you say, well, I want to start with my first $500,000 or $500,000, whatever, you could do that. I say this. How much more money does it cost you to believe for $1 million over 100,000? How much more money does that cost you? Think about the question I just asked. How much more money does it cost you to believe for $1 million? Now, right now, I'm believing for 50. How much more does it cost me to believe for 50 than 5? For me believing for 1, I've done that already, closer to 2. So, yeah, that to me, that's yesterday's news. How much more does it cost you to believe? Am I getting responses?
0, Aaron said.
Absolutely right. It costs you nothing. I remember one time, and I'm a Christian, I'm a man of God, I follow the Lord, and I'm never going to apologize for that. I remember one time I was really going through some stuff financially, and I needed, I think it was about $1,500. And I mean, at that time, it was like asking for $1 million. And God asked me this question in my prayer time. It was so clear, and I want you to hear this. He answered my prayer. I wound up getting about 3,000. And I was like, oh, he did the hallelujah dance and everything. I can't wait to get to church to share my praise report. And God said, let me ask you a question. To me, God said, not me, meaning me, to him. He said, to me, what's the difference between $5 and $5,000? And I went, nothing. What's the difference between $5 and $5 million? I hesitated a little bit. He said, to me, nothing. He said, so when you ask for that $1,500, if you had said 15 million, what difference would it have made to me? Nothing. So the problem is your faith in your asking, not in me providing. So I said, okay, then I got to get my ask stronger. I got to work on that. I come from nothing. To be where I am now, my daughter, there was a record out back in the day, of Group Ultramagnetic, and he had us on Papa Lodge, Big Shot on the East Coast. And my daughter used to always say that to me, Papa Lodge, Big Shot on the East Coast, right? And we were poured in. And she said to me not too long ago, maybe about a year or so ago, Daddy, I spoke that over you. And I'm like, well, yeah, you did. You always said it. It's huge when you perceive, I don't do things for awards, but I have them. I don't do things for accolades, but I get them. I don't seek that stuff, but it seeks me out. But my mindset is every award or anything that comes to me on the path to where I'm going, that's icing. I'm not working for awards because I'm not working for the praise of people. I'm working to accomplishment a goal, and I'm working to get to the place where my Father says, well done, my good and faithful servant, if nobody else does. And that's me. I just went down my spiritual journey, I know, but oh well, you watching me. So, let's wrap this up. Any final?
Joshua said, I'm on my way back to Florida, Uncle. It's happening.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you, man.
Nice.
Right.
Edward said, well done. It costs you nothing to believe.
Absolutely nothing.
And Esther said, it's free.
It's absolutely free. It's free, and it's. Let me give you a good place to wrap up. I have some more millionaire mind stuff here. I'm trying to be mindful of your time and stuff, but let me just give you this. The biggest challenge that you face is convincing yourself. Now listen to me, but that's not where you spend most of your time. You spend most of your time trying to convince other people. If you go to somebody with a business idea and you say, I believe this, I believe that, I believe this, I believe that, and I believe this be good for that, this, that, and the other, and I can do this, I can do that. They don't care unless it affects them. They don't care unless it solves a problem for them. So I tell people all the time, talk less about yourself and more about the person. Talk less about what your dreams are in terms of what's in it for you and more about what's in it for them. And that's a mindset. So I've talked about earning the first $1 million, securing a high profile investment deal. I'm just throwing this in advance. One of the ways to get people is to give them something that benefits them. And you can't do that by talking their head off. You do that by listening to them. I'm jumping ahead, but I'm just giving you that. That's free. Don't worry about it. Watch this. Success in a millionaire's mindset is not to have, or billionaire's mindset is not about having a lot of money. It's about having financial independence and the ability to make impactful decisions without being stressed out about it. So people that are seeking success really got past, I just want to have all this money. That people that have that mindset, you've seen it with rappers, you've seen it with basketball players, you've seen it with actors, you've seen it with whatever. What happens when you have that mindset is when you get that money, you go right through it and you wind up poor again. Because the goal for you was to have the money. You're going to become the super consumer and you're going to not be a producer. And sooner or later, all that's going to dwindle away. Real successful people desire to be rich for a purpose. And that purpose is they want to be able to make impactful decisions in their lives and the lives of others without being stressed about it. There's a motivation to achieve something that's not based on just making your life feel better. Because I can tell you right now, there's only so many cars and so many things you can have, and then before you realize it's just a car. Bill Gates said, whether you have $50 billion or $50, a burger is still a burger. You eat it, you digest it, you go sit on the toilet, and you poop it. It's the same thing. So it can't be about the acquisition of things, but it has to be the fulfillment of purpose. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you really realize that you're in the place now and that you're about to make wealth. My main reason for building Vision Builders and wanting it to go to the top is because I want everybody on my team to be multimillionaires. That's a goal of mine. I don't want to be rich by myself and everybody else is poor. First of all, I'm not that person. I've never been that person. But number two, these are people that I've believed in for years. They believe in me, and we're working together toward a goal. And that's the key. There was a video I want to show, I'm getting ready to post, where Yayo was saying, 50 got more money than us, but yet he still works harder than all of us. We come off stage, we want to go and smoke a joint and chill in a hotel, and 50 in the gym and sitting up reading scripts. And that's a mentality because he has something to accomplish. And he already said, I don't care about the stuff anymore. I've done the stuff. Now it's accomplishment. Wealthy people like to win and take home the prize. They like the goal is the capture and the hunt, not how much they can buy with what they got. So successful mindsets or millionaire mindsets is financial independence is the ability to make impactful decisions without stress. That's important. You want one more? Before I go, let me know. You want one more? I'll give you one more.
And we said one more.
Developing a millionaire mindset, and people are like, well, why aren't you on here telling us how to get rich and what I need to do to get rich? Because if you don't have a mindset, you see the people who win the lotto, you see what happened to them? Don't they usually wind up poor again, broke? You see that? You don't have a millionaire mindset. If you ain't thinking about it, you know, the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and the words, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Those who indulge is going to eat the fruit. So you got to change what's in your heart so that what's in your heart comes out your mouth, and what's in your mouth brings the fruit to you. Getting money put in your hand don't make you rich. And it definitely don't make you wealthy. Wealthy is a mindset. That's not, rich and wealthy is two different things. We won't touch on all that tonight. So let me just help you to start. Let me just leave you with this to develop the millionaire mindset. 1, ready? Believe in your ability to create wealth. Believe in that, to create it. Believe it. Not, well, if I had the chance. No. Believe that you have any opportunity, and just like anybody, there's nobody has more opportunity than you. Well, no, but if I was, nobody has more opportunity than you. God's no respecter of persons. Nobody has more opportunity than you. That's number 1. Number 2, very important. Surround yourself with successful people. I don't know any successful people. Yeah, because your mindset don't let them want to be around you and don't draw them to you. But if you go out seeking them, you'll find them. Because one thing I've learned about successful people, they love sharing their insight. They love talking about themselves. Look at me. They love sharing their insight. They love passing it on to you if they can. They're not gatekeepers. Successful people, really successful people are confident in their success. The first thing they want to do is share the opportunity. If you don't believe me, look at this kid who walks around the School of Hard Knocks, walking up to people in the street. Excuse me, how old were you when you made your first million? When is the most money you ever made in your life? And a lot of them are like, listen, I ain't got time, I got to go. But they'll still stay there and answer those questions. Why? Because those questions are about them, and they love to talk about what they did and how they got there. So even people in a big rush, they'll stop and they'll talk to them. Why? Why? Because people that are successful love sharing it. They don't want to go to the grave with it. They want to give it to other people. That's what I'm doing right now. So if you start seeking out successful people so that you can ask them questions and give them a chance to tell you what they did and how they got there, they do it. They love to talk about it. You may find some idiots here and there, but for the most part, successful people, not people who got a little riches, but successful people love talking about their process and how they got there, okay? Stay disciplined and stay consistent. This is huge. I said all of this earlier, I won't go all into it. You got to keep going. I don't care what your emotions are feeling. I don't care what things are saying around you. And don't get caught up in chasing shiny things, because shiny things will pop up. I remember when I was on my road, everybody started coming to me, crypto. I don't have anything against crypto, but it didn't feel like something I wanted to do. So I didn't do it. I don't chase shiny things. I got to stay focused. You got to stay focused on, and that's where the discipline comes in. The ability to say, no, this ain't for me. Or he just did it and he got rich, and I'm happy for him, but that's not what I believe my road to success is. Mine is this, and this is the road I'm going. And you pivot a little here and you pivot a little there, but your road needs to be consistent, and you need to be focused on that and not every shiny thing that pops up. Last but not least, invest in self-education, such as books, courses, and networking. Networking is how you meet wealthy people, by the way, to surround yourself with. But invest in self. Invest in things like books, courses, and networking. This is free. I do this to help, to share my insight, and for you to watch me as I go to that next level. Sooner or later, it may get to a point that I can't do these like these. So while I'm here doing them, eat them up. Give me some hearts. Give me some love here. I'm feeding you for free. I'm giving this to you because, one, God blesses me for my sharing. But two, it reinforces to me who I am and what I'm about. So when I get on here and I tell you this is who I am and this is what I'm doing and this is how I'm doing it, I need you to understand something. I'm holding myself accountable to me, but I'm holding myself accountable to you, because now I know you looking at me now like, okay, N-word, let's see if you're going to do what you said. And I'm going to do it. So Listen, invest in yourself. I don't invest in this company. I want to buy into this. I want to buy this crypto. I want to do this. Okay, but what are you investing into you to make you better? What percent, when you get some money, what are you going out and buying new sneakers and do this and do that? What are you doing to invest in you, in your business? Now I'm gonna go out and hang. No. What are you doing to invest in your business? In yourself. I know people tell me I'm a businessman. They don't even have a website, cards, nothing. So what are you doing? Where's your investment in yourself? Very important. Books, courses, education, and things that you can use to contribute to your success. I was not into social media a year ago. Now I'm doing a podcast. Now I'm doing a live. But guess what? I bought portable stands and lights and camera holders and clip-on monitors and all kind of things to contribute to my growth and my goals. These are things, they're small investments, but I make them. I ask people, so how are you shooting your videos? What are you doing? Well, I just use my phone. And how you do it? I just hold it, or I just do loose. Okay, and what kind of lighting you have? If you look at my video, go back right here on my page, on my Instagram, and scroll back and look at my beginning videos. Or on my YouTube. Just YouTube. Do it on YouTube. And scroll back and look at my beginning videos. And then look at what I'm doing now. And you'll see a huge difference. Because I'm continually learning how to better myself. And so should you. Invest in yourself. You're going to be successful. It's your time. If you agree, right, it's my time. You ready? Let's grow.